Lovely. And I'm sure, and for our viewers and listeners who aren't aware of this, their products now sell in over 45 countries, 680 cities, of course, heading towards a top line of 200 crores plus. And marquee investors are coming in and investing in the brand. And of course, you've definitely seen them all over social media. Very powerful, Instagram and YouTube presence. And if you aren't already following them on Insta, I think you 100% should. And I'm sure you're actually buying a lot of their products as well. So I love how this happened. You said that you are now up to almost 500 staff members across the organization?
Yeah, I think we started with 3 people. I think there was Nagesh Mama, Vasant Mama, and Pandu Mama, who were, our village colleagues.
Right.
And me and Ajinkya. And then later our wives helped us. And from there, over the last 10 years, gradually adding people, organically growing the business. Since we do all 3 aspects, where we handhold farmers, we do farming, we manufacture all the products in-house and sell it on our own brand name, no white labeling. So teams have got added to all aspects. And today, close to over 450, 500 people work alongside us.
Fantastic. And I love how you're also educating, people by virtue of the content you're putting on Insta. Like just this afternoon, I was, when I was flying back, I was watching something and you had a video on the ghee and you spoke about how, because of the grass that cattle are feeding on, and that grass is, sprayed with a particular pesticide, which you didn't want to obviously talk about. But you said on the basis of that milk is being consumed and that milk is being made into ghee. How big a problem is, pesticides and chemicals in our food right now?
So it is a major issue, and the video that I had made, and a couple of our products have been now certified glyphosate free.
Right.
So glyphosate is what I was talking about in that video.
Correct.
Glyphosate is a component in a very famous weedicide sold by one of the largest chemical companies in the world.
Right.
It's a German company, now US.
Of course.
And over 95% farmers across the world use their weedicide. It's supposed to be a wonder weedicide. The moment you spray, the 3rd day the weeds are dead. And that contains this chemical called glyphosate. Now, this is a systemic chemical. It gets into the soil, and then when you grow crops, it gets into the crops and it comes into your system. And it is directly related to many chronic illnesses, especially cancer.
Of course.
And the awareness for this in the US is very high. So we thought about certifying our products, and now we are glyphosate free certified, the only Indian brand to be certified for ghee, atta, and jaggery and oils to be glyphosate free. And when you speak to people across the world and you see incidences of cancer and chronic illnesses, it has a direct correlation to introduction of all these chemical fertilizers, weedicides, herbicides, pesticides, and then there's a very direct correlation. So, while they have their lobbies which do not get out all this information out in the public so easily,
of course,
just when you speak to medical practitioners and when you speak to institutions which are doing research in this, and you speak to consumers also, when they change their food habits, and like you were sharing with me some time back about some personal experiences, just changing food habits and the source of your food can have a remarkable impact on your health and on your disease management.
100%. No, completely agree. And, you're right. Lobbying is, of course, so strong and takes us back, almost to, wasn't it a movie, was it Erin Brockovich, where Julia Roberts had that, the water was being contaminated and was causing cancers and all of that. But you're right. I think the instances of cancer today and just the vast, varieties, and some of them, even in, rural Maharashtra, where, we've got some staff members there, and he's like, "Pehle mere father ko hua, ab mere uncle ko hua, ab, ghar ke 2-3 aur parivar ke log ko ho gaya." I said there has to be a relation, to what you're ingesting in terms of your food here.
Yeah, exactly. So like farmers who spray a lot of these chemicals, you can see the incidences of chronic diseases out there. So Punjab is a state which sprays a lot of all of these chemical inputs. In Maharashtra, there are places like Kagal near Kolhapur, which grow a lot of leafy vegetables.
Right.
And leafy vegetables require a lot of chemical sprays. And you can see the incidences of cancer in Punjab and in Kagal in Maharashtra. It is at least, I think, 7 to 8 times more than the national average.
Crazy.
There's a train which goes from Punjab to Rajasthan, which is nicknamed the Cancer Express, because cancer treatments are relatively very low,
Cost effective
expensive in Rajasthan. It's subsidized.
Right.
And so all these people who have cancer, and especially farmers, take that train to get treated. And that, that train is called Cancer Express.
Well, that's tragic.
So, they're throwing that chemical, they're getting affected. Consumers who are eating that produce are getting affected. The biodiversity on the soil and below the soil is getting affected. The water holding capacity of the soil is getting affected. The nature environment is getting affected. So, short term there is some spurt in yield, and short term we do feel that we are producing more food, but in the long term we're just doing a lot of damage.
And you were seeing this happen firsthand, and which is why then you made the pivot to organic. So I'd love to hear that. Like, how did the pivot happen to organic in the first place?
So when we came back to farming, after doing a job for 4-5 years in the city, 10 years back when we came back to the village, we started speaking to our workers in the farm, our co-workers, and these are illiterate, but whom I call highly educated, because they have a sensitivity and a consciousness, and they have been observing things. So they told us that over the last 40 years, the same land, like for an acre in my farm, it used to produce 90 to 100 tons of sugarcane.
Okay.
With very less input,
Right.
just cow dung manure.
Right.
And now that same 1 acre produces 30-35 tons of sugarcane. In the last 50 years, the amount of chemical fertilizers, especially urea, has 10x'd. Initially, they put 3 sacks of urea. Now they put 20 sacks of urea to get the same output. They told me that the water holding capacity, initially we used to irrigate the fields once in 20-25 days. Now you have to irrigate the fields once in 8 days.
Crazy.
So the water holding capacity has gone down. And the yield that comes out, whatever you eat out of such farms doesn't have that taste. And these guys are people who are third educated, literate, fourth
Right.
standard.
Right.
And then it made us sit back and think. And then when we were doing farming, we started observing all of this. And then we started meeting farmers who were practicing sustainable farming across India. There was Narana Reddy near Bangalore. There was Ashok Ingole in Maharashtra. There was Bhaskar Bhai Save in Gujarat. And we went and met all of these people. Started reading a lot. And, both me and Ajinkya had left a job because intrinsically there was no soul left in doing what we were doing. And
Fair.
when you come back to do farming and you understand that you are damaging that soil and that ecosystem, and then you're making a living out of it, I said, it's no fun. There is no holistic idea left to this.
So true.
So we decided that this is not what we want to do, and we don't want to do the same practices of
Right,
chemical inputs.
right.
And then we started switching to more sustainable farming. We started looking back at history. We started speaking to the older people in the village that before chemicals were introduced, how were you doing farming? We started meeting people who were doing these experiments across the world. There's Rodale in the US, which was then led by Dr. Alien Ingham, who did a lot of work on soil microbiology. And then she and our historically our farmers, our ancestors knew that cow dung manure was one of the best sources of microbiology for the soil to get more fertile. And so we started experimenting out of a lot of curiosity. There was nobody doing this.
Right.
We started taking cows and making manure and putting that manure, observing the results, and taking heirloom seeds rather than modified modern seeds.
GMOs
And moving away from monocropping to polycropping. And we failed. We lost a lot of money. We were in bad situations, but we had decided that it is no fun doing farming the chemical way.
Right.
If it gives us, that satisfaction, we will try removing a commercial solution out of this sustainable farming and not the other way.
I'm sure you love this particular clip. If you want to watch the full episode, click on the link below and watch the whole episode.